Hey, I'm comedian Sean Reynolds, and this is Family Outside the Box, the podcast that answers that age-old question, what am I supposed to do with these kids? We are glad you're here. Let's do this. All right, welcome everybody to the very first episode of Family Outside the Box. Emma's laughing at me because I didn't know how to start the episode.
Yeah, you were just sitting there breathing heavily into the mic, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, I realized I've never started a podcast, and I did not know how to do that. So,
I was getting nervous. I was like, is this how he starts his comedy shows? Like, that must be pretty awkward for the...
It actually is, though. It's just it's a lot of heavy breathing and silence from me and the audience, but... No, we're glad. I could see the terror in your eyes. You were like, is this how we're going to be doing this podcast?
Well, it wasn't terror. It was more like, are we doing a family podcast or are we doing like a weird ASMR type thing?
Okay. Well, I mean, it is going to be weird, but it is not going to be ASMR. We're so excited you're here. I am Sean Reynolds. I am joined here by my lovely daughter, Emma Rachel Reynolds.
Hello.
I am a, for those who don't know, I'm a touring comedian. That's what I do for a living. That's how I make money. It is a real job, allegedly. I tour the country. I do mostly churches and corporate events. Emma here is multi-talented. She is in all kinds of plays. She is in college. She's fantastic.
I heard the hesitation. You were trying to think of more things.
I was hoping you didn't pick up on that. She's Emma is one of six, right?
Yes, I am. I'm the second oldest.
Second oldest. We are the Brady Bunch.
We are.
3 boys, 3 girls, and Emma is the oldest girl. So hopefully along the way you'll get to meet some of the family. So here's what the podcast is going to be. Let's just start off there.
Okay.
The podcast, every episode, we are going to give you one takeaway. Yeah. One thing you can go back to your family and do, whether it be an activity, a tradition, a game, a conversation piece, an idea, shenanigans, ballyhoo, just a lot of that.
Yeah, we do a lot of that.
And we do a lot of those things. And so this podcast isn't going to be us just sitting around shooting the breeze. There's some podcasts that do that.
I know.
2 hours. And some people love those, and that's fine. I don't like podcasts like that.
Yeah,
so
me neither.
I can promise you this: with this podcast, you are going to walk away with one golden nugget. That's what we're going to call it.
Ooh, golden nugget! I like that.
Are we going to call it that? Because I don't know what to call it. It's like, here's the thing.
Yeah.
We're going to call it a golden nugget as of right now, and then we'll change it when we think of something better because it's not that great.
Sounds a little Willy Wonka-ish.
It does sound okay. But that would be a good thing. Anyways, I want to also say this. I think this is important to note. The timing of the podcast. Now, we are currently going through a quarantine, the coronavirus. That is actually not why we've started the podcast, though. Today is, April 2nd. We had this podcast planned since November.
Yeah,
I'm a bit of a procrastinator.
A little bit.
And so we were like, oh, we're going to start it in November. And then we were like, no, we'll start it in December. And then we were like, oh, we got a great New Year's Eve episode, which is going to be a great episode.
That is going to be great. I'm so excited for that episode.
Turns out that was not episode number 1.
It wasn't.
Time passed, and then now here we are. So while the timing is perfect, because this is perfect material for being in a going through the and here's the thing, I want this podcast to be timeless. People can be. This is a podcast people can listen to 10 years from now. So my hope is, in the year 2035, if somebody's listening to this episode right now, I hope that they're saying, what's the coronavirus?
That's what I'm hoping as well.
I don't want it to be, oh, the coronavirus, the thing that wiped out all those people. We don't want it to be that. So, but we will say the timing is good. We're going to tailor our first few episodes around the idea that we are all stuck inside. This is family outside the box, but technically we are family inside the box.
Yeah, we're not going to tell you to go on a mall scavenger hunt or something.
We're going to hold off the mall scavenger hunt. I'm going to pull back. We're not going to do the episode of the tournament of who can touch the most strangers' faces. We're not going to do that now. We're going to hold off on that episode. Ooh. That'll be a later episode.
Yeah, it's one of our favorite things we do as a family, though. Sure.
So, all that to be said. Now, here's the other thing. When I listen to a podcast, I want the people hosting the podcast, they better be experts.
Yeah.
I listen to this one podcast. It's one of my favorite bands, and I listen and I feel like I know more about the band than the people doing the podcast.
Oh, that's the worst.
It drives me nuts. So I feel like we have to let people know are we qualified? And I would say, well, let's go through it.
Yeah.
We're a family.
Check.
We do things outside the box.
Check.
I mean, what more do you want? I think that does it. That's.
Yeah. I mean, we're the people for the job.
I feel like we are. We are the people for the job. And the thing that led to this podcast is we get so much positive feedback from people all the time, saying things like, "I want to be in the Reynolds family because we do a lot of fun things."
I think we do. I have fun times.
We do, and then but here's the thing. So people say that because we post the fun things, especially my wife. Let's be clear, also, and you will meet my wife Katie at some point. Let's be honest. Most of the things that we're covering on the podcast are ideas that she came up with.
Yeah, I mean, we do have to give credit where credit is due.
We're totally stealing from her, and we're making it our own thing. But anyways, taking all the credit. But a lot of times we post on social media the cool things that we've done, which has then led people to say, wow, you guys do so much cool things. And so we want to share that. But that being said, let me be clear, we are not the perfect family.
Definitely not.
We don't put out the bad stuff that happens, right? We don't post the arguments, we don't post, arguments that I've had with my daughter trying to get her to flip loads of laundry when she said she did, but she actually didn't.
Okay, well that one was pretty specific. So.
Well, it was specific, just like the instruction that you were
All
given.
right, let's just get back to the show.
But so to be clear, we're not saying that we're the perfect family, but we are saying that we do some cool things and we want to share it. And actually, along the way, we're hoping that our listeners share their cool ideas with us, traditions, so that we can do them as a family and then make it an episode. And then maybe along the way, we can even have guests on the podcast, have them in the basement.
Yeah, guys, come on into our basement.
Come on in the basement and tell us what your family does.
Okay, you got a little too into character.
We won't do that. But, so we're excited about that. The other thing, I'm also, so we're hoping that the podcast will help you improve your family time. Yeah. And here's what I was going to say. I'm doing this selfishly because I feel like if I'm going to host this podcast, I better be doing these things. And I want us to be a better family. I want us to do more cool things. And I'm hoping that the podcast holds us accountable because it's easy to fall into a rut. It's easy to fall into just a pattern of watching TV.
Oh, TV.
Let me be clear. I'm not anti-TV.
No.
I'm not one of those people being like, oh, I don't watch TV. What's your favorite show? Oh, I don't have a favorite show. I don't watch TV. You know those people.
Yeah, okay, we get it. You're stuck up.
Right. So we these are the same people that will let you know that they're vegan, they're lactose intolerant, they do CrossFit. So
gotta milk it.
So to be clear, we love TV, but it's easy as a family to just say, what are we going to do tonight? And let's watch a show. Let's watch a movie. And while that can be fun from time to time, it's not high quality family time.
No, not at all.
You're not talking, you're not engaging. And I think, especially for adults, if you look back on your childhood and say, what are some of your best memories? What are some of your favorite memories? It's going to be these cool family things that you've done, right? Maybe it's sledding, right? Maybe it's a fishing trip, right? I don't think as adults we look back at our childhood and when we're asked, what was your best childhood memory? I don't think the first thing that pops in our head is, sitting around as a family watching MASH, right?
MASH?
Well, I'm just saying that's a thing people used to do back in the day. And so we're hoping that the things that we pass along are things that will help make memories. Now, here's what I'll also say, though. I think some episodes, the items are going to seem very simple. And I would tell you, do not discount that. Yeah. Anything that we're throwing out there, we have done as a family, and we have found value in it. And also, we want to make this simple because we don't want to make big, over-the-top, extravagant things because I know how I am. I get these big ideas sometimes, and then I just don't do it, right? Like, build a treehouse. Like, that's not going to be an episode because that would be a lot of time. So we actually are keeping it simple for that reason, that we want it to be easy, executable things. And I think sometimes the small, simple things can go the longest.
Yeah, I mean, for sure.
Right? And also, we want to make sure that the ideas are cost effective, right? We're not gonna tell you go to Disney World as a family, right? Obviously, that would be a great time.
Go swimming with dolphins in Key West.
Right, that's not gonna be an episode.
No.
to be clear, that would be a great family time, great memories.
It'd be great for anyone,
right? But listen, in our family, we're a family of 8, so we're cost effective.
We are.
Right, we're a Little Caesars eating, sneaking snacks into the dollar theater kind of family.
Yeah.
And if that's who you are, if that's who your family is, well, you
just stumbled along the right podcast.
Right, you've come to the right place.
Yeah.
Welcome home. This is a safe place. So that kind of is what the podcast is going to be in a nutshell. We also want to let you know that we want you to follow the podcast on social media. Now you might be thinking to yourself, oh, well, I'm sure I can follow it at Family Outside the Box. And that is where you would be wrong. Here's the deal. I am a stand-up comedian. As a stand-up comedian, I have to have a social media page on Facebook and Instagram, and I do. It's Sean Reynolds Comedy. And that is where we are going to post, for now, all the Family Outside the Box stuff, because I'm having enough trouble keeping up with my own social media, let alone starting a second one.
Yeah, but also, like, here's the thing. You definitely should follow him. You know, he has a really good page, lots of fun stuff. Yeah, I unfollow people a lot. I'm guilty of that. Yeah. And I haven't unfollowed you.
You haven't unfollowed me?
Yeah, that means you're doing something right.
That means the world to me. I love it. Wow. So for now, go to Sean Reynolds Comedy. That's where we will post everything with the podcast, upcoming episodes. We will also be posting things that might be connected to an episode. We're going to have future episodes where we're going to say, hey, here is the materials that we used, and you can use them as well. And we'll post that to social media. So anyways, also, we are filming, wave to the camera, we're also filming every episode. Now the reason we're doing that is because I believe there's going to be a lot of people that will like Family Outside the Box, but maybe aren't podcast people.
Yeah.
Right? Mom is not a podcast person.
She is not.
She is not. So, but we want you to be able to tell your friends and family to check us out. And if you feel like it's somebody that might not listen to a podcast, at the very least, they can obviously go to YouTube and pull up video of the episode, and that's what we're going to have. Because most people, while they may not be tech savvy enough to do podcasts, at least everybody has the internet, and they can go to YouTube and watch the episodes. If they don't have the internet, well, you're probably out of luck at that point.
Well, I mean, we could always just take this show on the road, go into the living rooms, live podcasting.
Live podcast, living room to living room for people that don't have the internet. That would just be a tour of the Amish, I believe. We'd just be busting in. We're here to tell you how to family better. And then we'll say, also, why is there a shotgun pointed in my face? Settle down, Ezekiel. We're just trying to have you do something besides churning butter all day. So anyways, we're going to be up on all the podcasting platforms. Google, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. I don't know why I said Google first. Nobody listens to podcasts on Google, but it will be there. It'll be there. I mean, obviously, the more, if you listen to podcasts, you know how helpful it is to like and subscribe and leave a 5-star review. That apparently helps the algorithm for people to find it. And obviously, sharing on social media. Since we're going to be posting this to Facebook and Instagram, share it, let people know about it. And hopefully we can pass along some really cool things to help people fam it up a little better. Okay. I hope I don't ever say that again. If I
me
do,
too.
you can slap me. All right, so let's get into it. Ready to get into it?
I'm so excited.
Here it is, the Family Outside the Box, one golden nugget.
So here's what here the episode number 1. We spent a lot of time talking about episode number 1. We wanted it to be a good one. And I wanted it to fall into that sweet spot of something that's important to us. Yeah. But also something easy to implement, not over the top. And so I think we came up with this is a very simple thing.
Me too, I'm excited.
And what people need to know is it's something that we do at dinner time. Now before we get into it, I want to cover 2 things about this. One is how important it is to eat dinner as a family at the dinner table.
It is. It's so important.
Right? No cell phones at the table. Now listen, I'm not preaching to you. We have went through many stretches as a family where we've gotten out of that good habit. And we haven't had dinner at the table for whatever reason. Maybe it's schedules. Sometimes we did the thing where we just grabbed the food and we would go into the living room and watch a show. I know a lot of people do that. I've had my friends tell me that they do that.
Wait. Pause. You have friends?
No, you caught me. No, I don't. I'm just referring to strangers that I talk to in line at Kroger. And if they talk back to me, I call them my friend.
Okay, that sounds about right.
Right. So, well, anyways. But no, I've had people tell me like, hey man, we never eat dinner together, and I tell you, it makes a big difference in our family.
It does. It really does.
And we've been on a roll now. I feel like we've been on a roll. What would you say? Maybe a year or two of pretty consistent dinners at the table.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Before that, very inconsistent. I know some people are out there going, what? You don't eat dinner all times of family? Like, why would you give that tip? And if you're one of those people, awesome for you.
Yeah.
That's great. Stick to it. But I'm telling you, there are people out there that don't eat dinner as a family, and I can't stress it enough how important it is. The next thing we have at our table, now this is a little different than most people. I don't know anybody else that does this personally. I heard this idea on a podcast about 4 or 5 years ago, and I introduced it to our family, and it is the one conversation rule.
So important.
Now, when I introduced it though, you guys resisted.
Oh, yeah, for sure. When you first introduced it, I was like, no way.
You guys thought I was just being overbearing, being silly. Dad's got another podcast idea that he heard nobody cares about. But let me tell you, this one conversation rule has also been a game changer for us. So the one conversation rule is just that. It means when you're at the dinner table, the entire family is having one conversation. So it means if I'm saying something to my daughter Kylie, at the same time, Emma isn't talking to Sean about what they did at school that day, and Keegan isn't telling Dylan, let's play video games after dinner or whatever. It means we're having one conversation at the table. And that for us has just improved our family communication. It's the only time of the day we have this rule, right? But it causes us to be together. Now, I will say the knock on the one conversation rule is once you start doing it, it becomes a habit like anything else, and it's a good habit. But man, once you go to other people's houses for dinner, or if you have a party and everybody comes over and you have guests at your dinner table and they don't do the rule,
it's so stressful.
It's so stressful. It's
stressful.
Like why do you don't yell across the table? Don't do that.
I'm just gonna yell at everyone.
Yeah, right.
Silence.
What conversation? So, but it has been a super positive thing, and it goes right into our one golden nugget for today. It is a little game. I don't know if it's a game. It's more
I would say it's more like a conversation piece.
It's a conversation piece. It's a thing that we do, and we do this almost at every dinner now. And it is a little thing called high-low. Why don't you tell everybody what high-low is?
Okay, awesome. So high-low is basically you go around the table and you say your low first, which is very important, which is like the low.
It's technically low-high.
It is. It's technically low-high, but so you say your low first, which is like the low of your day, and then you say your high, which is the high of your day, and it just kind of gives everyone a moment to listen to how your day was, and very important.
Right, and we go around the table. Everybody gets a turn.
Yep.
One conversation rules in place.
One conversation rules in place.
So everybody's listening. And this has been so great for us. Now, here's the thing. My wife and I, we didn't come up with this. We saw this in a movie like 20 years ago, in a movie called The Story of Us.
Wait,
You're
what?
making a face like you are just saying this for the first time.
My whole childhood is a lie. I thought this was you guys' idea.
No, we did not. We stole it from a movie. And and we implemented it. And we're hoping that our listeners steal it from us. But yeah, it was in the movie The Story of Us. Bruce Willis, Michelle Pfeiffer. It was an okay movie.
Well, I feel like we should see it now.
No, I don't know if it's like a family-ish movie. I remember a lot. It's actually like their marriage is bad.
Oh no.
And so it's like, I think there's Lang. I don't think it's a family movie. But the movie, as I remember, I think it started off the family's playing high-low. They're going around the table. And so we stole it. I think it's so fantastic. Everybody goes around, and when they're telling their low point of the day and their high point of the day, as a parent, let me tell you what it does. It gives you a snapshot of your child's day. And it does it in a way where I think sometimes there's certain things that come out at high-low that I don't think that would come out of a normal when they come home from school conversation, right? When the kids walk in the door, we always say the same thing. How was school? Do you have homework? Anything going on? And kids like to give very short, one-word answers, right?
Yeah.
How's your day? Fine. Yada, yada, yada. But what high-low does, it first of all lets a child decompress for a couple hours from coming home from school. And at our dinner table, at high-low, we'll start with the low. We've had some heavy stuff come out at high-low. Not all the time.
No, not all the time, but
we went around the table, and I, as a parent, I've heard some lows that made my eyebrows go up. Things like, well, my low is this girl, hit me on the back of the head and called me stupid in front of all my friends. And And so what that does as a parent, it kind of gives you a little insight in your child's day, and you might not want to unpack it at the dinner table, and we usually don't.
No.
But that would be a thing after dinner where I can pull my child aside and be like, hey, tell me a little bit more about this. Are you, what happened with this kid at school today? You're being bullied? Or is this something, something I need to help you with or give advice on or whatever it may be? Or sometimes they just need to get it off their chest what happened. And that has then led to many longer conversations just from the simple low at the dinner table. But the great thing is the high part. So it's great to hear everybody's high. And it does some things as well. I think it teaches children how to express themselves, and it teaches them how to express gratitude.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Because sometimes, what's a high that we hear a lot at the table in regards to like mom, for instance?
Well, we always hear is like, my high today is the dinner mom made.
Right, we hear that a lot, right? And because a lot of times, sometimes maybe they didn't have a great moment of their day, or sometimes the dinner is just so amazing that is the high. That was actually like a couple days ago.
Oh, I know exactly what dinner you're talking about.
Exactly, and so for a child, that's important to teach them how to express gratitude. It's also great as a parent to get the positive feedback, to be told by your child, the best point of my day, the high of my day was you making this dinner, or dad taking us to the park to play football, right?
Yeah.
That is like positive reinforcement that parents need to hear sometimes, and that we get from high-low. And I think you hear it also as a sibling.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like as a sibling, like let's say like I did a tea party with Lucy the other day, and that was her high, and it just feels really good to not only have her recognize that, but have everybody else at the table recognize that. You kind of have like a moment of being like
celebrated.
Yeah,
and that's good. And that positivity is contagious. Now, let me tell you, the first few times that you do high-low, it might not be like this.
Yeah, no.
I want people to realize we've done high-low for years. Our high-low now, it's gotten better.
It keeps getting better.
And when we first started doing it, and this may happen with you, people struggled, or it was just very simple stuff. My low was having to get up this morning, and my high was coming home from school. If that happens, let it happen.
Yeah.
What will happen is over time, your high-low will get better, especially as a parent. You're going to set the tone for that. Maybe your high was, when you came home from school today and you gave me a kiss on the cheek. Same thing. The kid hearing positive reinforcement like that is awesome, and they're going to want to return that. It's contagious.
Exactly. It's so contagious.
Right? The other thing it does is that it also lets us know as a parent what's important to our child. Right? Example of this was last year, my son Dylan was doing a play at the elementary school. It was his first play. No, maybe this is a couple years ago.
Yeah.
This is a couple years ago. His first play was a couple years ago. And this is Dylan, our son Dylan. At the time, he was in 3rd grade. He's in this play, Little Mermaid. He was Flounder.
Oh, yeah.
And we have this, now let me just say this side note. We have the most amazing music teacher at our kids' elementary school.
So amazing.
Her name is Judy Reynolds. No relation.
Yeah, no. Shout out to Miss Reynolds.
Shout out to Miss Reynolds. She's the best. She puts on these plays. I am not exaggerating. These elementary school plays are better than most high school plays I've seen.
Sure.
Would you confirm that?
100%. I've seen high school shows.
And you're a theater kid. Emma's a theater kid.
I'm a theater kid.
And she'll tell you these plays are amazing. So anyways, but what I started noticing was when Dylan had to do his high, it was constantly, my high today was play practice, right?
Yeah.
I started hearing that over, and I would be like, why? Like, did you get to do a part today? Or, did you get pat on the back from Miss Reynolds? You did a good job? Like, no, we just had a good rehearsal. And I kept hearing it over. What was your high today? Play practice. What was your high today? Play practice. Well, that tells me as a parent, wow, like this is his thing.
Yeah.
This is important to him. So I think as a parent, not only does it give us an insight to the day, it tells us what's important. It lets them spread gratitude. It has positive reinforcement. I'm telling you, high-low is one of the most important things we do as a family.
For sure.
Am I exaggerating?
Not at all. Not at all. It's so important to me. I love doing high-low.
We do it almost at every dinner. This is how we start off dinner. I think it's also a great way to kick off dinner.
Yeah.
Maybe you're a family, you don't communicate great. I know there are families out there that struggle to communicate. Maybe you're a parent, you have a quiet teen, or maybe you just have that uncomfortable silence. Well, man, high-low is a great way to bust out of that.
For sure.
It's a great way to kick off the dinner and get conversation going. one other thing that we do, and this kind of ties into the one conversation rule, and it's actually something we don't do anymore, but we did in the beginning. And I don't know if you remember this or not.
Okay.
But when we first started doing high-low, everybody would do their high-low. And then at the end, one time I had like a Three Musketeers. I think the first time I ever did it, I had a Three Musketeers bar. And I held up the Three Musketeers bar. You know where I'm going, right?
I know exactly where.
And I said, all right, whoever can go around the table and tell me everybody's high-low gets the Three Musketeer bar, right?
Yeah.
And everybody wanted to do it. Hands down, we're also competitive. I would later find out I don't need the Three Musketeers bar, right?
Just the winning would be satisfactory.
Winning is enough for you all. But what that did was, I don't know if you realize this or not, but what that did was that trained everybody to listen, right, in the beginning. Really listening to what everybody has to say. And even if I had to use a gimmick to do it, it was worth it because guess what we don't have to do anymore? We don't have to do that. We don't have to say who can go around. I know that I could do that and anybody could do it, right? Yeah. I think I stopped doing it when I would say who wants to try and all of your hands would go in the air and no matter who I picked first could do it. So I don't have to do it anymore, right?
Yeah.
So that was also a little that's like advanced level high.
Yeah,
that's a little extra tip.
Yeah, that's like mastering.
Right, that's a master class of high-low. But it was a good thing and it really helped us. And but one other thing I want to mention is that I want you to talk about this, is that everybody gets one high and one low.
Oh, yeah. You're very strict on that.
I am.
But I can see it because it's like, if you have multiple lows, multiple highs, it kind of takes away from that one main one. Right. The impact one has.
Right. I think it also teaches humility and self-awareness that, hey, we're all getting one high and one low. And that's your moment to shine. You have the floor, right? And respect that, right? There's nothing worse than when you get in a group of people and they just are like, and then I did this, and then me monsters. Me monsters. That's a Brian Regan bit. Yeah. That's one of the best bits where he talks about people who are just like, me. And then like the minute you start saying something, they can't wait to jump in to be like, and then me, and I do that. And it's a great Brian Regan bit. It's one of his earliest bits. But I think that controls that a little. Oh, for sure. And when people used to say, they don't do it anymore, but family members, when you all would be like, I have two highs. Nope.
You pick one.
Right? You're not more important than anybody else at the table. I want to hear your high and I want to hear your low, but we want to hear one high and one low from everybody. That's important. Yeah. Also, there's 8 of us at the table. If we did multiple highs, multiple lows, we would be doing it into breakfast. Yeah, let's be real. So that's it. That's the first episode. I think, once again, I feel like some of you are going to be like, that's kind of, that's so simple. But I'm telling you, we picked this for the first episode for a reason because it's so important to our family. The things we've gotten out of it have been huge. And I think it's a great way to kick off the podcast. Even though Emma initially disagreed with me, though. There's another thing we do at the dinner table that's so much fun. It's a game. So and Emma wanted to kick off the podcast with this. And I said, no, we're going to save it. Mostly because it's just really fun and it doesn't have those extra layers of importance as a parent that I get out of high-low from you guys, where I get a real snapshot of your day. But the other thing is really cool. It's going to come down the road. Emma was overruled.
I'm so excited, though, for when we do eventually.
That'll be a good one. Well, that's it. That's episode 1. I hope everybody enjoyed this. I hope everybody shares it. Hey, listen, if you tried this, you do high-low, let us know. Comment on Sean Reynolds Comedy on the Family Outside the Box Facebook post or Instagram post. Let us know what you think. We're so excited to bring you this podcast. We have a lot of cool things planned. Next week, episode 2 is going to be a really cool one. It's something that we just did recently. It's perfect for being quarantined. It's a lot of fun. And I can't wait to share it with everybody. Okay, so wait, you're not going to tell them right now? I'm not going to tell them. This is what we call in the biz, Emma. This is called a teaser. Wow, he's professional. Very professional. Okay. So join us next week where we have another really cool thing you can do as a family, and it's a coronavirus special. Thanks for joining us. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks for listening, and remember to follow us on social media at Sean Reynolds Comedy, SHAWN, Sean Reynolds Comedy on Facebook, Instagram, and